What is up, Bold Nation, and welcome to today's video, guys. Today I want to present to you guys my Faith build that is the best build you could find anywhere in the internet. The reason why this build is so perfect is because whether your character is level 60, level 80, level 100, level 150, or to infinity and beyond, this build will carry you throughout the entire game. Not only is this build so perfect when it comes to restoring your health, it is extremely perfect when it comes to doing damage and being able to do that damage from a far distance. And if anybody wants to get close to you, you'll have a shield to protect yourself, and you'll actually have a weapon to deal extra more damage on that enemy because this weapon still hits really hard like a truck. So if you want to find out how to put this build together, the pieces you're going to need to make sure you become the most powerful person in Elden Ring and avoid dying but actually do a lot of the killing yourself, well, today I'm going to tell you guys what you're going to do to put this build together. So as you guys were watching the gameplay, guys, you saw the massive amount of damage this build does, guys. And no, I am not level 300. This is a level 150 character. That damage is crazy insane because that enemy right there has like about 7,000 HP. Now, think about how much HP and how much accumulation you actually have to dish out to the enemy to be able to kill him with a regular weapon. This just took 2 sword swings. This build is pretty much a one-shot build. It just automatically decimates anything that's below 4,000 HP. It will obliterate him in one hit. One hit alone will do enough damage to kill almost anything in the game that is not a boss, a mini boss, or a really powerful NPC. So how is this build so powerful? Let's take a look at the armor that we have and the equipment that you're going to need in order to put this build together. Now, let's talk about the main bread and butter of this build, guys. It's the Blasphemous Blade. Now, the Blasphemous Blade, guys, as you may already know, is one of the most powerful weapons in the game. Not only does it hit hard, but it actually has a really high scaling when it comes to fire, because its cool weapon art allows us to do that nice flame of fire or firewall going down the road and being able to do that long range damage, which makes this weapon really viable. Now, in addition to that, guys, it scales of strength and dexterity, but it actually has a Faith B scaling, which makes it awesome for this Faith build because this is a Faith build. So we are using a lot of the scaling from Faith in order to be able to get this weapon to do even that much damage. Now, for our secondary armors, we're using the Golden Crescent Shield. The reason why we're using this one, guys, is because it has damage negation of physical damage up to 100, Magic 57, Fire 60, Lightning 57, Holy 68, and the Guard boost of 78. So it's a really good shield to have to avoid almost every single damage that you're going to be taking from an enemy. In addition to that, guys, when you actually do your power level cast, the shield gets placed in your back, and if you ever get hit in the back, you will be able to absorb that shield. Another reason we like this particular shield is because it has a really good attribute scaling from strength, and since we are using a little bit of strength in this build, it helps us with that attribute scaling. Another thing that we love about this shield is that it does all that guard damage effectively, but it weighs very little. Usually, your shields that do this much of damage negation tend to be a little bit heavier, and that's why we like the Golden Crest shield. Now, the last thing we're running, guys, as far as weapons are concerned, is the Erd-Tree Seal. Now, we have this scaled up to +10. The reason why we like this is because this is an S tier shield when it comes to Faith. Now, I have a video showcasing where you can actually pick this up, so you're definitely going to want to check out that video to know where to pick it up. If you want to know where to pick the Blasphemous sword, I also have a video for that. You guys pretty much saw a video slides playing when I was talking about it, so you guys know where to pick up the items we're using. Now, next up, guys, what else is happening in this build? Alright, so for our armor, guys, we're using the silver tier mask. Now, the reason we're using this particular item is because it allows us to scale our arcane by 8 points, which arcane is very helpful because it does scale our fire damage, allowing us to do just a little bit more damage with our fire attack. So this is definitely a requirement for this particular build. Next up, guys, we have the Raptor Black Feather. This is actually really good as well because when we're in combat and we want to jump in the air and we slice, it's going to give us just a little bit more damage with that jump. So it gives us a nice little boost whenever we need to combat someone when we're actually just fighting them. Then in addition to that, guys, we just have the gloves and the trousers. Those don't really matter. You can swap these out for anything. I also just look for something that's the lightest as you possibly can because you want to be super light with this because you're already theoretically really heavy already. These are pretty light, so that's why I went with these. Next up, guys, we're running the Fire Scorpion. Now, this is really good because it's going to raise fire attacks but lower damage negation. Doesn't really matter because you are going to be using that fire attack at a distance, allowing you guys to do a ton of damage, and by the time the enemy reacts, they're pretty much dead. Next up, guys, we're adding the Godfrey icon. This is going to enhance your Sarge spell and skills, so allowing you to use that Blasphemous Sword just a tad bit quicker and being able to do just a little bit more damage. Now, if you don't know where to get the Godfrey icon, I actually have a video showcasing where to pick it up, so make sure you check it out. Link is in the description. Next up, guys, we have the Shard of Alexander. This is greatly going to boost the attack power of skills. Really important, guys, because this is going to be very helpful to boost that attack skill. Now, theoretically, you could go with this one, which is the Warrior Guard Shard, which is like the baby of this one. You have to do a quest line to get the Shard of Alexander. For this one, you don't need to do a quest line, so you just have to kill a jar. That's pretty much it. I have a video on this. I don't know if I have it uploaded, but it will be uploaded on the channel with the complete step-by-step quest to get that done. Next, guys, we have the Ritual Soul Talisman. This is going to raise your attack power with HP is at its maximum. Since this build allows us to fight at a distance, it allows us to do a ton of damage from that distance. This is a really good one to have. If you feel like you're still getting hit or killed quite often, you might want to go with something that's going to allow you to either restore your HP or something that's going to allow you to restore the FP if you don't have enough FP. So for this one, allows you to restore the FP, or you can go with this one that's going to allow you to restore the HP upon defeating enemies. Really nice, effective way to actually get your health back or get the FP consumption that you guys are using quite a lot. Now, stuff that we're using for this particular build, and I think theoretically this is mostly only the stuff you actually need for this particular build. It just pretty much melts anything that you have or comes your way. For the Mystic of Wonder Physics, we're running the Cerulean Hidden Tier. This is going to allow us to use boost ourselves, so we're going to talk a little bit about that without taking any FP consumption. And this is going to allow us to have a lot more damage when we're actually using our weapon to make sure we do a ton more damage when that is being casted. In addition to that, guys, for our memorized spells, we have the Golden Bow. This pretty much just boosts us and gives us a little bit more defense and attack. Really important. This one we have it in case of an emergency because we can actually pop this and it will slowly replenish our health. This has to be one of the most underrated spells in the game. A lot of people bypass it, but it's actually really powerful. Next up, guys, we have the Flame Grappling Strength. This is going to raise your physical and fire affinity attacks, so it's going to allow you to do more damage when you're using that. So when we're casting, we want to make sure we use the Golden Valve and we use the Flame of Grappling Strength. I'll show you guys the way you're actually able to combo this in a little bit later in the video. In addition to that, guys, we're running the Great Ruin, which is the Riker's Ruin. I have a video on this. This is going to allow you to restore HP upon defeating enemies. So you're going to be super tanky because you're going to be killing people and that health is going to be coming back. So the main thing you want to kind of worry about is mostly FP consumption. For the flask, guys, you want to make sure you at least have 3 of them in your arsenal because you're going to want to make sure you have enough casting spells to be able to use your build. So how exactly do you want to put this build together? And a little bit later, I'm going to explain where you're going to want to dump the points for this particular build. Alright, so what you're going to do, guys, is you're going to go ahead and drink your flask. That's going to allow us to cast and not use any FP. We're going to hit the Golden Vow, okay? And then we're also going to hit the Flame Grappling Strength. Alright, and then we're just going to go out in the battlefield. Now, this is going to allow us to go, it's going to allow us to kill this guy with double animations here with taking out any FP consumption. So here we go. As you guys see, our FP consumption only took 1 hit. So we were able to do 1 sword swipe without taking any FP consumption, plus apply all those buffs as we are using in that build. So really effective. It lets you kind of start off the the encounter really fast, allowing you to do that 2 damage hit without just taking 1 FP consumption, which is pretty cool. So for stats, guys, how do you want to run this? Well, let me go ahead and pull up my stats and show you guys exactly where you want to dump these points. So for Vigor, we're at 35. I think that's a very nice sweet spot. Even though you get hit, you won't be dying. For Mind, you want to be at 35 as well. Really good place to actually have it because you're going to be able to do a couple casts. I think it's 4 sword casts without losing any FP. For Endurance, we have it at 12. It's not really high, but we really don't need that much Endurance. Strength, we have it at 45. Now, this build does scale off of Strength as well, so you want to keep that in mind. That's when we have those points dumped into Strength. We're also dumping a little bit of points into Dexterity because the Strength and Dexterity kind of go hand in hand when it comes to this particular build. So those two are boosting up the damage we're actually outputting. And this is where a lot of people make mistakes. They dump 80 points, 70 points into Faith, and they forget about Strength and Dexterity because these are going to allow you to buff that weapon, which is what we really like. Then we have, I think it's Intelligence and Standard at 16, and then we just dumped 60 points into Faith, which allows us to actually have a very nice option here. Now, there is one thing I want to suggest in case you guys are wondering if you can replace the seal if you don't have that seal. Basically, what you want to do is you could replace the seal with this one right here, which is going to allow you to use it because we have that headpiece. So you can use a Dragon Communion seal without having to spend any points into Arcane, which is also going to scale the Arcane and the Faith. The reason why we like this one a little bit is just because it puts our Faith at S tier, which is really important. But they both do the same amount of damage. Overall, in general, guys, this build should carry you through early game, end game without a problem. This is by far the best build out there. If you have another build that tops this one, I want to know in the comment section down below, because I highly doubt there is anything better than this. Let me know in the comment section down below what do you guys think in the comment sections. And don't forget, guys, for all things Elden Ring, keep it locked in this channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.